Hello, welcome to ManifestHER. We're so excited we're together. Niki is in Utah. Best thing ever for me. I'm so excited. And today, we did not do an episode last week because I've been riding the struggle bus, and we're going to talk about that. So we're just going to talk about when life gets hard, and like we can't always be our best selves. All we can do is keep working towards that. So we're going to talk about just kind of what's been going on and how we're pulling ourselves out of it and all of those things.
Yay!
Well, welcome to Utah. So excited.
This is amazing, first of all, just to be here and see you. I want to say we, first of all, spent, 4 hours just talking?
Yeah.
In general. So that lets you know how close we are, how much we missed each other. We talk fairly often. We still can spend 4 hours just catching up, and in our course of kind of catching up, we decided it would be a good topic for this week to go through because we're both not vibrating on our highest frequencies right now, and life's a little bit tough, but it happens. And so what better way to work through it than to kind of share what we have with each other and with all of you as well, in hopes that it resonates with some of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just talk about how the week is going. You're in Utah. What are you here for?
I came back. So right now we have our house in New Orleans, and my sister-in-law went to visit. So we figured it was a great time to let her visit. She has somewhere to stay. We can come back, check in, catch up. All my friends are here. So I love coming home because I get to see you.
I didn't even know that's why you came. I didn't know that she was staying there. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. So we're like, it's a good time. Because we had options. It's like, well, we didn't want to stay there with her, first of all. No. House ain't that big. So we're like, okay, we could just get an Airbnb here. That's why you're spending all that money. We could have stayed maybe with our neighbor, but I don't know. I'm weird. They're cool. They're our friends, but we don't know them that well.
Yeah.
We just moved there a year ago, so I don't want to encroach. And you know me, I'm weird. And so I can't just stay with anybody.
Yeah, I can't either. I can't stand people being in my space because I can spend a day with people, but then I need to go home and be in my space. And I have to cut out time for that because otherwise I will be grumpy.
Yes.
I don't want to be around people all the time.
Yes.
I don't enjoy that.
Mm-mm.
So
no, and it's not. It's a small house. Ain't no doors. I was just telling Britney, filling her in. I'm like, no, that's not to have a whole bunch of people. It was her whole family. So we're like, we're out. Yeah, have fun.
I'm glad that she gets to go though. That's nice for her to
Yeah,
be able to spend time there.
It's fair. It's nice to share that. And so we came here. We're trying to decide. We don't know if we're going to come back to Utah permanently or if we're going to stay in New Orleans a little longer. Right now, New Orleans kind of has the edge because of the city and the people and the culture. Salt Lake has an edge because it's home. Mm-hmm. We know everyone here. We know everything here. We know our way around. We know the ins and outs. We have a car, family. Everything is all here. My grandchildren, all here. That's something I'm heavily missing out on in New Orleans. And so I feel like my breath stinks. So if I'm not too...
You're not close enough to me. I do not smell your breath.
If y'all wondering...
They're watching the video. They're her breath definitely stinks. I can tell.
It's been a long day. But yeah, coming home, it's been amazing to see my kids. And my friends. You don't realize just how much you miss somebody until you see them.
Yeah. I feel that. Because I miss you. Mm-hmm. But, we connect a lot. I've been feeling, lonely, but I'm excited to see you, but not the way that I feel so happy.
Yeah.
I need you guys to put out all the vibes that they choose to come back. I want her to come back.
And we were talking about how great it would be and all the things we would do.
We have all the plans. I'm manifesting it. I laid out we could do this and we could do this.
Yes.
I want you to come back.
So we'll see. It would be really nice. We want to set up a studio officially for our podcast. That would be a big draw to come back here and just be able to record and do this
Yeah.
face to face every week, I think would be amazing in and of itself. So
it would. And like just do it in person is just so much better, isn't it? Like watching it, it's better, right?
It is.
I want to. But obviously,
split screen if you don't have to.
Yeah, but obviously, like we want you to be where it's best for you, and if it's there, there is a lot of good about you guys being there. You've been really happy doing a lot. There's a lot in the city that is really fun, and
Saints games.
Yeah.
I love those Saints games. Let me tell you, I'm not wanting to give that up.
Yeah.
At all. And the Super Bowl is going to be there next year. So, but we always could.
We can do more drives down to Vegas and go. There's a football team there.
That's true.
Go.
That is true.
Saints isn't even your team.
That is true.
I will just drive to Vegas.
That is true. And you're my official team.
Yes. But it is fun out there.
Yeah.
I want to go visit out there.
Yes.
But I'd rather you be here.
Me too. I think there's something to be said about family and friends and quality time. That just goes a long way. It's hard to be alone, and that kind of got us on our subject of this week is, let's see, it's been a year since I've moved out there, just over a year. We got there March 9th of 2023 last year. And so coming up on that and coming to that anniversary, and as we're deciding where do we want to be, most of my struggles that I had there was because I was alone, which is weird because I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
And as an introvert, I love to be alone. I love it. I thrive on it. Sometimes my boyfriend looks at me and he's like, "You're introverting. I miss you." Like, I don't even know, you know?
Yeah. I get that. I love to be alone too. And I choose to be alone more than, like, if people are planning something, a lot of times I don't want to do it because I just want to be home. But there's something about when you're alone too much, it starts to mess with you.
Yes.
And, like, I don't feel quite okay.
Yes.
And I know I need people, but it's that you have to be around the right people. If you're around the wrong people, it's still draining and it's not uplifting. But when you have the right people around you,
yes, that is the key.
Yeah.
And that's what's different. And so I've been missing that. Being in New Orleans, I have no one. I literally, between leaving my career and moving to a brand new state that I've never lived in, don't really know anyone, like, that was a lot. And it's really isolating. Not that my man, like, he's amazing and he does all the things, but outside of him, what else is there?
Yeah.
You know, and you need more than that. You need friends, you need people, just in general. You need acquaintances, you need places. And I find that I don't really get out when I am there unless we go out together. But I don't have my own friends, you know. And so it's either like he's my friend and we get to go do something together. If he doesn't want to or he's busy or something, then I just may not even really get out. You know, whereas here, I can call you up. I can call Eileen. I can hang with my daughter and my granddaughter and my other daughter and my son. You know, there's a whole plethora of choices. I know my way around well enough, too, that I could just kind of leave and go out. You know, we have a car, all the things. So I'm open to a lot more things here to where if I'm feeling isolated and lonely and like I don't have that connection, I can go to sound baths that we're going to tomorrow.
I'm so excited.
And so I don't have that,
yeah,
you know, out there, and that's been really tough. So one thing for me in looking at how to get back to feeling like my best self is being with people. That's something I do have to weigh heavily, you know.
It's important, but yeah, there's just a lot of good about both places. So just ultimately comes down to like what's best for you right now. I think also like your granddaughter's only one, and at that age, they're growing so fast, and it's hard to miss all of that.
Yes, it is. I feel like I'm missing everything. First birthday, first Christmas, first Easter, like, because I wanted to be here for Easter. Oh my God, I didn't think about it when I got my tickets.
When are you leaving?
The 29th.
Okay, it's today.
So Friday.
Oh, my watch died.
Yep, we're leaving Friday, and so I didn't think about that. I'm like, damn it, I'm missing so much because she is growing so fast, you know, and to be here for that, I think would just be really amazing. So stay tuned. We'll see where I'm going to end up. Y'all can vote. So if you want me to come back, I might come
You all
back.
better vote for her to come back. When anybody says that she should stay in New Orleans, you are banned. I don't think I told you, but Brianna's coming to the sound bath tomorrow.
Ooh, you didn't.
So she'll be there.
That's a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love sound baths. We go.
Love them.
I introduced Britney. I thought you had been going, but she confessed she hadn't been going, but she fell in love. And she's been going ever since that we started going. And so I do not get to do that. We never really found that out in New Orleans. I'm sure it's maybe there somewhere. But, you know, and again, not having a car, that kind of poses, you know, if they do have it, it's probably somewhere. Close, yeah. So I'm looking forward. It's going to be so good.
I need it right now.
I need it too. I need that recharge. I need that clarity. I need that sense of centering and just kind of connecting back, you know, to the universe and my higher self. So,
yeah, that'll be cool. Brianna just went through a training. She's going to start doing sound baths.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. So that's why she's trying to go to like different places so she can figure out like what she wants to do for hers. Mm-hmm. So that's why she's coming. So I'm excited. It'll be fun to go to hers.
Yeah.
Like for someone you know to do it, but just.
Yes. I thought about doing virtual sound baths. That's something that's come up because I kind of want to be a healer. I've tossed that idea around. And so virtually, especially on that for me, for you, for us thing, I'm like, if I can get back to something that's maybe just for me, especially if I am in NOLA. Yeah. Of course, I'd have to invest in at least the crystal bowls, which are kind of expensive. But I'm like, that might be a nice investment. And if I just sat and played on TikTok
that would
or something.
Fill you up. And your voice and the things that you would say, I feel like you would do so good at that.
That's something I have tossed around too and looking at what direction to go. For anyone, if you haven't tuned in, I left my career a year ago to be a full-time entrepreneur. And it's been a process. I'm good at a lot of things. I have interest in a lot of different things. And it can get overwhelming, you know, of knowing which way do I go and how do I fully flesh that out to be something successful. And so that's something, healing has been on that list of me trying to figure out who I am now and who I'm going to be entrepreneurially. And I think, you know, because it would heal me. I love a sound bath. So I'm like, if I could just sit and do this, maybe that would put me in the right direction towards healing. We'll see.
That'll be good. I never really thought that like that type of healing stuff virtually, I was like, I don't feel like it would have the same impact. But then I did breath work with Morgan, which I didn't think I would like. Did I tell you about when I did breath work?
You can tell me how it went.
Girl, it was incredible. Incredible. It was my first breath work thing ever. I've never done that before. And she like tailored it for me and made it for me. And I chose to do, she has different ones she does, and I chose the chakra one. So she went through each chakra and like cleared it. And I'm telling you, like after she finished with one chakra and moved to the next, I felt lighter. So like there was a point when she had done like only the bottom ones, the bottom half of me felt lighter and the top half was heavier. My entire body got super tingly and I was cold, and like my face like started tingling and like kind of going numb. Like I felt like a very physical response to it. And by the time I was done, I felt like 1,000,000 times lighter. Yes. Like I never would have paid for breath work before, especially like $100 for one. I was like, that is a lot just to breathe. It did not make sense to me. But then I did it and I was like, oh my gosh. And then she recorded it so that I can like have my own personal one and like do it every once in a while. She told me about some I could watch on YouTube, which I haven't been doing, but that's just because of where I'm at. But it was amazing. So I feel like with like sound baths is still like people do it on YouTube and stuff, like they're very peaceful. I think that there's like a place for like that where you can do it in your own space, in a place, because I love it in person how like you feel the energy of the bowls, like it's so surrounding, it's amazing. But like there's definitely like people that don't want to go do it in person, like they have like that social anxiety thing, and I was nervous, that's why I didn't go before, because I was like, I don't know what to expect. But so doing it virtually would be so super cool too, especially if you like tailor it to them and you like do a little meditation first and like talk about whatever you feel like they need to hear and then do that. That would be really cool.
That's what I'm looking into, because I did used to teach yoga and I taught aerial yoga and so that was more on the meditative side, and so I could be branching off on that. But part of what I've been experiencing that has kept me hesitant is kind of doubting my own gifts, you know, and doubting my own abilities, which is just part of me getting in my head. It's not that those are true, but it's easy to listen to the negative voices sometimes. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't heal anybody. You know, go do something else. So that's been my block where I kind of don't move forward sometimes with some of the things I really want to do, which is healing.
Yeah.
You know,
I saw someone say, like, when you're having, like, those doubts about yourself and stuff, and, like, instead of looking at yourself the way you look at yourself, try to see yourself how your best friend would describe you. And, like, that's such a different thing. Like, if you think about how I would describe you as how you could heal and stuff, like, I believe in that 100%. Yes. You are so, like, if you try to see that part of, like, it's, because we're always going to be in our heads about, like, I doubt myself all the time. But other people tell me all the time how great I am. So it's like, I try to do that. Every time I'm struggling, I try to think of, like, how would Niki describe me?
I love that. Best friend energy. Yeah, I like that. I'm definitely going to keep that in my mind, and I try to, because it is easy to just put yourself down, and you're like, what is that? The truth? You know, is this how everyone else is looking at it? And chances are it's not. So if you picture your best friend, who's better? You know, because your best friend will never say the things that you say to yourself to you, you know, or doubt you the way that you're doubting yourself. So I absolutely love that. That's a really good piece of advice. And
also, networking is such a big thing. And Bree did her business design with Morgan. And one of the things that she told her is, like, she's shouldn't be doing, like, everything on her. She needs to, like, have, like, her piece of it and then have other people pulling in their pieces and stuff. And so maybe you could, like, do something with her and do stuff together, because she's doing the sound bath stuff and she does her head spa. And I mean, I don't know if she's wanting to do that, but I know that in her design thing, that's what Morgan said, like, would be for her. When you did your design for your business, what was, like, the best way for you to do it?
I need generators. Yeah, I definitely have to align with some generators, which, for anyone that doesn't know, a generator is more of, they have more energy storage, and so they're more of the doers and the worker bees, if you will. And so projectors, we're kind of like aloft and align, and we help everyone to realize their goals and put the pieces together and kind of direct the things. And so we're not meant, that's just literally not how we were created, you know, you or I or any other projector, to do a lot of that heavy lifting. And so I gotta align with someone that is their natural, who they are, and it comes easily and effortlessly for them. And so just looking for that entrepreneurially. I've found it within my career when I was in the workforce, you know, and I think that was my biggest thing leaving, is I think my whole identity was tied up into my career. Yeah. And so leaving that has been a big thing for me lately, because it's, who am I outside of that? How do I function with others? How do I get the same beautiful chemistry and all the things? Like at work, man, right? I had it. I was aligned. I could align with different people. Ping, ping. I could get myself to go up, and I really created a great thing within my career, you know, but doing that and not having all the people or the tools that I had in that arena has been a challenge. And so, yeah, I got to find some generators. And the other thing that she was saying too is to get more into healing. Like, that's more something that's aligned for me. It's who I am. It's one of my archetypes, was the medicine woman. And so if I did something that, like my career, it wasn't healing per se, but we were educated, we were advisors. Yeah. You know, you and I. And so that is like healing and helping in that sense. And so it's a healing in a sense. And that's why that was such a good fit for me, as I was helping other people to get to that next point in their life. And so figuring that out, how do I heal in a different arena entrepreneurially? What's that look like?
I like that. I would say the same thing, because every time I tell you of like the type of things I think you should be doing, it's always around, it's not necessarily like being a healing coach and like healing people, but like sound baths or meditations or like anything like that. Even just like I said, like going and working in like a crystal shop, things that just like have that energy. I thought that all of that's going to feel aligned for you. Yes. It's just finding which ones.
Which I love that. Right now I'm considering going back into the workforce, which has been hard because I don't want to feel like I'm giving up on my entrepreneurial dream by re-entering the workforce, you know, and that's part of what kind of keeps coming up in the back of my mind is, oh, you're giving up, or oh, it's another failure, or, you know, those kind of things are eating at me. But at the same time, like, I gotta survive too, and I only have so much money on a stipend that I get every month, and so it's like, what am I gonna create? Yeah, I could live off of that. Like, I'm not struggling. It's a decent amount of money, but I want more. I don't just want that. I don't want to sit around living off of a stipend. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, I want to create, and it doesn't go that far at the end of the day. And so I want to be able to make something more and be successful as an entrepreneur. And it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard, Lord.
I feel like if you come back, we should go. Like, I see people post that they go to events. Like, my friend posted there was like this women's entrepreneurship event thing. And I was like, how do you find out about these things? And like, there's balls people go to, and they're all fancy dressed. Like, they're on Utah. Right. I'm like, where are you going? How come I don't know about any of this? I feel like I would like want to like look deeper into like networking stuff and going to events and like go to more things like South Bass, but like different, and try to find what you really love, and like maybe you could like pull pieces from all these different things and put it together for what works for you. I like that a lot, and just not being afraid to, and the more I lean into it, it'll help that fear, because I have healed, I have helped, right? And so obviously I can, and I do think it's my calling, but it's so easy to be like, nope, it's not, you can't really do that, you know, kind of thing. No, go back to work. It's like, work is easy. I know it. Yeah. I know the game, right? And so go back to corporate. Run it. Boom. Get it. That's why it was hard to leave corporate. And so all the reasons it was hard to leave corporate, I'm really kind of screaming not to go back. Yeah. But maybe just a little part-time, something, or until I do get my money going, until the breakthrough does come, you know. I always picture myself, like, one day I'm going to be looking back on my little podcast and when I was broke and encouraging people, you know, because it is like, I'm trying to figure it out, but I do believe that I will. Yeah. As long as I keep trying. I believe you will too. You know. It'll be good. And I think that, I don't know. I forgot. I have like so many things going through my mind that by the time I say the thing I was thinking, I've already thought 5 other things. Dang it. I don't know. I'm on a new thought process already. Well, how have you been? We've been talking about me this whole time. Horrible. We didn't do a podcast last week because I had surgery. I had my wisdom teeth taken out. I had every complication that you could imagine. It's been now 3 weeks since I had surgery, and I am still in a lot of pain. And it's just like in the last 3 days, I can feel improvements. I'm still in pain, but it's improving, which like gives me hope. But before 3 days ago, I was miserable. Every day, just in pain constantly, all night, couldn't sleep, haven't been able to eat. I can't feel my mouth. Like, it's just been the worst experience of anything I've ever had. So mentally, I'm not doing great. I'm very like negative and I can't get myself to think about anything positive or like do things that fill me up, because I usually do so well because I do so much focus on myself, and I watch motivating videos, and I sit and I plan things, and it like lifts me up, and I can't do any of that because all I can do is think about how much pain I'm in. So I just have not been in a good mental space, and that's why like I didn't have a topic to talk about today. That's why just like in catching up, we decided to talk about this, because it's like I haven't been able to think about, like, it takes 5 minutes to sit and think about, okay, what do we want to talk about on the podcast? And that was too much. It was just too much. So I think that like, that's just a reality of like, sometimes people see like that we are doing well a lot. We get compliments on how well we're doing, but really like the last couple weeks has been rough, and just trying to figure out what's right for us, and like if we want to change how we're doing things, if we want to keep doing things the same, and like it's just a process. And so I don't know like what the best way for. I think like honestly, I just need to get out of my pain and then start like focusing on self-love, focusing on doing the things that make me happy, and then I'm sure it'll all fall into place and everything will make sense. But I told you I was going to go, do like a spa day. There's like this big package that I was going to do. It's like a massage, facial, and body polish, and a pedicure. And I scheduled it. I was going, and then I realized, like, I'm in so much pain. Why am I going to go do all of this expensive stuff, like, and then be in pain? Like, that just, so I canceled it. I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
But I am still going to do it. I feel like as soon as I'm feeling better, I'm going to go do that and spend a whole day on myself and just, like, be in the vibe. And I think that that'll really help.
It will.
But right now I'm in a big rut and I don't want to do anything. I don't want to post on social media, which is why I haven't been posting on social media, because I don't have the energy to even, like, think about it, let alone actually do it. I haven't even considered it. So everything's just kind of been put on pause in my life and trying to just get out of pain.
And that, you know what I mean? I like that we're talking about this because we're human. You brought up the fact that people look at us, and most of the time, yeah, we're super positive and on a vibe, and that's the point of our podcast as well, but we're also human, and we're trying to create, and this is a difficult thing, and we're just trying to share this process with you and let you know it's not always smooth, and it's not always easy or flawless. It's not just like, oh, I'm a create and manifest, and I'm gonna just, I said I'm gonna have a great day today, and it is so. You know?
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, like, it's just not. And so we want to be vulnerable right now and let you know we struggle too. Life comes up too for us, and sometimes we don't want to be positive or do the things, or you know, we're affected by everything just like everyone else, you know. And so I think just coming to terms with that and not acting like, oh yeah, we got this, it's great, and that social media life, because it's not. I think that's the drawback. Yeah. Obviously, the social media is everyone is posting just that perfect side. Oh, I'm great all the time. Yep. Do. You know, life is great, when really life can give you a gut punch. Yep. And when you're least expecting it, when you're making all these fabulous plans. And so, yeah, you have been in pain and you've been dealing with a lot. And I commend you for even showing up today and looking beautiful. Don't you look gorgeous? Thank you. And being cheery and just, you know, committing to coming to see me, whether we decided to record or not. You committed to coming up and spending time with me. And so that's part of what recharges me and keeps me going, is having people like you in my life and knowing I'm not going to be judged. I don't have to be like, oh, let me avoid Britney because I'm not doing that well right now, kind of thing. And I think sometimes you have people like that in your life, you know, where you're like, oh, let me maybe not talk to them because I don't want to have to, you know, I really don't feel well, or I'm not creating all the things and I don't want them to know, you know. And I don't have to have that. I can be real. I can tell Britney the good, the bad, the ugly, and she's not going to judge me. She'll get right in there in it with me and help me through it, regardless of where she's at. If she's in a good spot or if she's not, she still takes that time to get in there and be a friend. And that's one of our greatest things, and one of the things I'm super happy for.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for our friendship. It's like when we go a little bit, I mean, we don't ever go very long without talking, but when we go a little bit longer without talking, I really, who I am changes because I don't have that uplifting. Like, I don't get that from anyone else. Like, so connecting with you always makes me feel better. And I think that's one thing of, like, when you are struggling and everyone says you just got to push through and do it, like, that is very true. But also, like, the last couple weeks, I couldn't push myself any more than I was. And there was not 1% more that I could give. And I was, like, even though I wasn't giving a lot, I was still giving my all. I was giving 100%. I could not do more. And, like, even, like, with the podcast, I was like, I don't know if this is too much for me. And it's because of the pain. I know that once I get past this, I'll be fine. But even just showing up today, like this morning, I was hurting. And I was like, I've just got to do this. I took all my medicine. I'm going. And just being here and doing it, it's lifting me up and it's reminding me, like, this is why we're doing it. It's not supposed to be something that drains me. And I was allowing it to drain me because it was just too much. It was too overwhelming. And I've just got to, sometimes you have to get past the places. But then once you get past, like, the part where you can't give 1% more, you then start giving a little bit more and you realize why you do it. And it starts to, like, fall into place again. And like, I feel so much better about everything. Just
I feel amazing. Even just being here and talking about it and what we wanted to do, because we were there for each other. We weren't like, you know, it's one-sided. It's what you say or what I say. We were here and we both really want to do this and we're in it for the long haul. We're brand new at this, you know. We're just two girls, you know, out here trying to make a change, okay? And so like, it's gonna take time, and we are committed is what we realize today, you know, is we are committed to this and whatever it's gonna take, but it's also okay to miss some weeks because we're new, first of all. We're human, second of all, and like being in pain. What can you do? If this was any other kind of show, they would let you have off, you know, to be in pain or something. So I like the fact that we can just give you some grace to get better and then not give up on the whole thing and be like, all right, we're right back in it. We're feeling good, you know, let's create all the things, you know.
Yeah, so we already have one planned for next week we're going to do, but then after that, I mean, it depends on how fast I heal. If I keep feeling like this, I just don't have the energy to do one every week. I have to get better, but then once I am better, then we'll figure out, like, what works best and go from there. But so if we miss weeks, I'm so sorry, but I'm hurting.
We might have less. One of the things we talked about is recording less, but we are going to be here, and we know we do have some faithful fans that are listening to us, so we're not going away, you know. We are here for the long haul. We probably, too, in the upcoming weeks, especially once I come home, for good, we're going to have, like, a better studio and things, and we'll be able to upgrade and just grow, but realizing that it takes time. Like, I'm an instant gratification, so it gets hard if I'm not seeing something sometimes right away, and it's like, I'm ready to throw in the towel, you know, and I think us just being committed and not being in that, like, okay, we're going to put in the work and the time, and eventually it's all going to come, you know.
One of the things from my business, human design thing, was that one of the shadows is perfectionist. And I think that's where I'm struggling, because it's like, I want the podcast to be perfect, and it can't be perfect because we are not in a place where we can have all the things that we want. You can't just spend all this money to have everything perfect. And so I see the quality of my camera is not working right, or my internet's having issues, and because it's not perfect, even though it ends up fine, it still doesn't feel good to me, and I have to overcome that. I can't expect everything to be perfect. It's not going to work that way. The thing is consistency and continuing to show up, and then slowly building, and eventually you get to the place, if we buy one thing every couple months, and then eventually in a year we have all the things, and we have this great thing, and it's just getting to that point.
Yeah, this is our first year. We haven't even been a year.
A couple months.
Yeah.
We only started in December. It's only been a couple months. So I have to number the episodes when I post them. I think we've done 14.
Yeah.
That's not a
lot. It's really not. And so keeping that in mind and just having that grace, you know, it's okay. It hasn't been that long. You know, we can create. We're going to have the set. We're going to have the lighting. We're going to have the camera, all those things. We're going to have the followers. It's going to come in time. But for those of us who are following us throughout our whole journey, imagine how great that's going to be, right? To see us never giving up on this, to see us continuing, you know, whether we have to step it back a little bit or what, we're only going to come back stronger. We're not going to permanently step anything back. If anything, it's just to recoup so that we can make sure that we're mentally and spiritually okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of people do podcasts they have seasons. So they take a certain time of the year off, and then they have season 1, season 2. So we could do that too, and maybe I don't know what time of year we would want to take off, if winter or summer, because in summer we do get busy, but also in summer I'm more likely to want to get out and do stuff, especially if you come back.
Yeah.
And in the winter I probably would. So I don't know. We just have to figure out what works best for us.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's a process of figuring out what works for us so that we are aligned with what we're doing and we feel good about it.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that I want to stress is the grace of it. The grace for yourself more than anything, because you want to push yourself harder than you have to, and then you get to this place, and generic you, not you.
Yeah.
You get to this place where you're like, okay, now it's all overwhelming and I got all the things, and maybe I'm tired or exhausted, or different feelings can come up from that. You know, you can be mentally tired, emotionally, spiritually tired. And so us just kind of taking the time to have grace for each other and for ourselves, it's only going to get better. All of our, not just the podcast, but everything that we're kind of facing in our personal lives as well right now. Yeah. You know, the point is to not give up. The point is to create. I've been through so much in my life, and I kind of just let it happen and didn't try to intentionally create after that or make things go like, I'm down for the count. Something happened. Count me out, Captain. I'm just gonna wallow in all this self-pity for the things that are happening. Whereas now, yeah, life's happening to you and to I, but we take a short pause and then we get back into it. Yes. We're not being knocked down, drag out, 1, 2, 3, you're out. That's it. It's like, okay, I can step back and space is okay and grace for me, but I don't have to give up and say, no, I'm done. Something happened. I can't take it. I'm giving up on all the things. I don't want to do it, And so that's for me my biggest thing, because especially former me, younger me, it was easier to kind of give up when life got tough.
Yeah, me too. And I think that it's like social media is so hard and so exhausting. And you watch all these videos and it's like, there's so many people doing this. How am I going to send out? How, it's not worth it because you're not getting enough views or whatever. But the thing is that, the people that are successful are the people who didn't give up. Because they say, most businesses, small businesses, they fail within, 2 years. And that's because people give up. But most businesses take longer than that to get off the ground and to be successful. And so people are giving up before they should. And if you, if you knew that you were going to be successful, if you keep going 15 years from now even, you're going to be the most successful you could ever have dreamed of. Would you give up? No. You would keep going. But it's the unknown of, you look at these views and it's this is depressing. I'm putting so much work and so much effort into this. For what? But it's because it's for your growth, for helping even one person that sees that, for, all of the small things. You have to keep going because of all of those little things, because it's hard, but it takes a long time.
I like that you mentioned that, because the compound effect is real. And that, like I said, was one thing that plagued me earlier with certain things. Is I'm going, up, hit that hurdle, fall back down. Oh, I feel good again. Let me go, hurdle.
Yeah.
Fall. And you're never going to be able to get all the way up to where you want to be, because you keep kind of going backwards and letting yourself just be totally washed out, or given up right when it's about to change, because you couldn't see the change.
Yeah.
It was right there, if you just wasn't giving up, the breakthrough was going to come. Yeah. And so me believing in that and trying to hold on to that, because it's true. If I knew that, if I could beam into the future, look at future me and be like, oh, it's guaranteed. Yeah, girl. Do the things. How much motivated?
Yeah.
And
I've literally watched some of my friends post one video and their entire life changed. And everything, all of a sudden they're making tons of money. All of a sudden they have hundreds of thousands of followers. It literally takes one video, and you never know when that's going to be.
Yeah.
And if you just keep going, you just keep trying, and you take what works and figure out how to make that better and make it work better the next time and improve on it. And then it's it's possible. It's possible that next week our life could change. And if you could see that, you would never stop.
Yeah, and I like that you said that. I was watching this comedy. It's called The Dark Side of Comedy, and I think it's on Netflix or something. But not plugging. I don't know if we can plug, not plug. But that's what I was watching. And they were talking about this. I think it was Carlos Mencia or something, stealing jokes of other comedians, and I just thought it was really deep, thinking about the work that goes into it, because the one comedian's like, I worked on this joke for 6 years. I'm like, you worked on a joke for 6 years? 6 years? One joke? But just thinking of the craft, and that's kind of why I brought that all up, and then to have that stolen from him, it really hurt. But just thinking, this is our area, this is our craft, it could be one joke. Think of a comedian, think of an artist, right? Anybody that has something great, it's typically not like you see it now and you see the greatness, but they didn't just wake up and had that.
Yep.
They didn't just wake up and all of a sudden, had the greatest joke and made everybody laugh and was famous off of this joke. He's like, I had to keep creating and doing the joke different ways and figuring out what makes it funny and what makes it work and what, and I didn't know so much really went into that. So it just kind of made me think of something from that standpoint of what is your craft and what is your art and how much are you putting into that to make it into the masterpiece.
That's a very good point. I like that you said that because it's also like all different crafts. Like if you think about it in different ways, like actors, they have to go on so many auditions and be told no so many times. I don't think I could do that for very long. To keep going in and taking my time to do that and then say no, no, no. Because it's very rare for actors that they just like get the part and all of a sudden like in a huge movie, like they have to do small things, they have to work up to it. It takes a lot. And then they become millionaires, billionaires, whoever they are, and they're super successful. Or like people in the NFL. They're making millions in the NFL, and people say that they're so overpaid and stuff, but do you know how much work that takes? Those men have been playing football their entire life. Their entire schooling, they're focusing on it's so much work. And then they make millions, but they worked hard to get there. Hard. And that is not something that would not be easy to give up on. Yes. It takes a toll on you. Yes. And like all different areas, like no matter what it is you're looking at, it takes a lot before you get to where you're making good money. Yes.
Yes. And so we just got to keep that in mind. Like we're going to get there. I highly believe you and I are both going to be great within 10 years. Yeah. You know, I believe that we can create that for ourselves.
We're getting close to 50.
Right.
We're projectors, and once you turn 50,
yes, it's good for us at 50.
Yeah. Every time I'm getting old, because I turned 39 this year, and I'm like, oh my gosh, next year I turn 40? 40? But then instead of being like upset, I'm like, oh, but when I turn 50, it's going to be magic. It makes me feel great about aging. So I'm like, what's going to happen?
We got something to look forward to.
Something's going to click, and I'm all of a sudden going to be just like so wise.
All the things.
We just have to, if I turn 50, that's 11 years from now. If I don't stop until I turn 50, because I know something good's happening when I turn 50. Because human design, I believe in. Everything has been so real. So I'm like, that kind of gives me some motivation. Once I'm like 51, if nothing's happening, I might be like, okay.
That's breathing.
It's been 12 years. I'm 50 now. I have no better knowledge.
The magic did not happen.
I am not wise. We'll see.
Let's rethink. But until then.
Yeah. And at least it's my motivation for the next 11 years. 50's coming. You turn 50 first. Your magic will give you inspiration.
It will. So we got this, you know, like just keep at it. Have that consistency. It's okay to be down. One thing I really tried to focus on, especially since I have been a little lower frequency the past few weeks, is not mixing those energies. I also share that a lot with Jensen, my boyfriend, you know, and it helps him, you know, especially being in sales, I was telling you. And sales is kind of like one of those things where if your frequencies are off, you can kind of push your sales away from you kind of thing, you know. So you got to be on point when you're getting out there. And I just tell them, if you're not feeling anything today, don't mix those energies. Yeah. You know, you're wasting your leads and you're, you know what I mean? Come at it when you're hot, when you're ready, when you are feeling it, because it's effortless at that point. Yeah. You know?
I think that's what started happening to me is I was mixing those energies because I was trying to push myself to show up and like make my content for social media and show up to the podcast and do all these things when I was feeling so drained. And so it made me start to dread it. But when I'm like feeling it and I'm in the energy and like, because even on the way here, I was not feeling it. And I was like, I wish I could just sit and talk to her instead of doing a podcast. I don't want to do it. But then because we talked for a while first, it brought up my energy and it brought up my vibe. And now I'm like, I feel so much better. It's really just making sure you're doing things in the right energy. And when you feel sad and you feel drained, allowing that. Because sometimes we need it. Don't try to like, I have to do 3 posts today and I have to record them. Like that's just, it's going to be a waste of your time. It's better spent focusing on yourself, doing something that makes you feel good, or just sitting and like if you need to cry, watch a sad movie and cry. Like, but don't try to force yourself out of that if it's something you really need. We can't be happy and positive all the time, every day. It's like a huge chunk of our life we're happy and positive,
Mm-hmm.
but we also have a chunk where it's hard.
Life still happens. You know,
Yeah.
I like that. Monica, one of our former guests that we had on here, Monica, I saw a post of her and she was like wrapped in this blanket. And it reminded me, that's kind of what she was alluding to. You know, if you need that break, take that break. Too often we'll push thinking like, no, I just got to get myself out of it. If I keep doing the things, I'm going to get out of it, you know. When really, you know, just kind of stepping back and saying, maybe I should just allow this. I'm not feeling motivated. I feel negative. It's okay. Allow yourself to feel that right now. You know, I feel salty, whatever it is. Sometimes I'm just not feeling like the happy-go-lucky person that I want to be, you know. I'm just not in the mood. Sometimes my man's getting on my nerves, my kids. Sometimes I get on my own nerves. And I'm like,
that's so true. Sometimes I get myself so annoyed. Why are you acting like this? Get it together, Britney.
So it's like just giving myself space for that and not trying to force and be like, no, let me do these things and create to get out of it, because then I'm just kind of not creating and I'm getting more frustrated because things aren't working. Yeah. I'm like, why isn't this, you know, I'm trying to do the things and it's not coming out right. Well, everything's off. I need to allow for whatever it is to have its space to process and come through, you know, and do whatever I need to do to get through that and then come back clear.
Definitely. I just love you so much.
I'm
so happy you're here. I'm gonna when you're leaving and I'm gonna cry all over again.
I know.
Don't leave me.
But then I'll be right back.
It's only a couple months this time. I can survive.
Yeah, it was long. This time was long to hear.
It was too long. It's been 6 months since the last time.
This is longer than the first time. Yeah, the first time we only went for like 4 months, and then this time we went hell long, all the holidays too.
This felt long.
It was like, I'm missing all the important things.
Yeah.
Sentimental times, but we're gonna come back. I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards Salt Lake. I just feel like I need the people. I need my friends.
And I think there's just like a good community of, you know, people who are trying to do similar things and connecting with them. And like, I actually was talking to, so I don't know how much I want to say about her stuff. Basically, we decided to have like a day where we go and stay in like a hotel type place and just like stay for the weekend. Me and like her and we were going to invite Monica. And if you're here, and just like focus on our businesses, like plans, and like just have like an entrepreneurship weekend of like chilling together and doing all of that. And I think that'd be fun. Like just having people who are on the same path and putting yourself around them. I need to put myself around them more. They live a little bit far, but you're like in the middle. I feel like if you were here, we could like all come here and like talk about our businesses and grow. Like I think it would be so helpful. Yeah. To just connect with people like that.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm needing really big, you know, this year. And so I'm probably going to do that, and then we're going to be able to come together and really create some great things, especially within the next 4. We've got these kind of time frames in our mind of creating. We got the 50-year-old time mark. We got 4 years. We got 10 years, I guess I should say first. You know, where do we want to be in 10 years, and where do we want to be by next leap year, very specifically. So just keeping that in mind and understanding that that breaks down, you know, to week by week and day by day. It's okay if you're not particularly creating in any given day, you know, or a couple of days, because we still got the whole rest of the year and technically 4 years. And I do think as long as we're staying focused and on track, we're definitely going to see something within the 4 years. Yeah. Let alone 10, let alone by we're 50, you know, but it's hard in the everyday to see it.
It is. It's kind of like weight loss. Like, you don't see it. You feel like you're the same all the time. But, like, when we were going to the gym a ton, I was so fresh. I got a trainer, and I was, like, doing so good.
We were doing it. We was doing that shit.
Yeah. And we looked good. But then my weight stayed the same. And it was, like, 1.5 years, 2 years of me working out. And my, like, the scale literally, it went up and down, like, maybe 5-10 pounds. I was like, I've been working out for 2 years, and I'm the same weight. But then I look at the pictures now that I've gained all the way back, and it's not the same. Like, I was the same weight, but I did not look the same.
Mm-hmm.
I was very different. And then you can't see that
mm-hmm.
when you're living it day to day.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, holy cow, look how
Mm-hmm.
far I've come. And that's what we have to do, is to just not give up and be able to look back and say, wow.
Mm-hmm. And combine our powers.
Yeah.
Oh, your phone's dying.
Oh, no.
We gotta get ready to wrap up, y'all.
Oh, we're at 15 minutes anyway. We're running out of time.
Yes.
We were going to do this in person. We're like, we don't have the stuff to do this in person. We're recording on my phone.
Yes.
Which is dying because I also didn't bring a charger.
Hey, you're here.
Okay.
Think about when
Yeah.
these are going to be funny. These
Yes.
videos will be here in 10 years when we're like billionaires. Y'all going to be looking back like, okay. It's going to encourage you.
Yes.
Like, they started ghetto. They started from the bottom. Now they here.
It's like Melanie. Like, she was homeless. She had nothing. And now she's like so inspiring. And we can be that.
Yeah.
Because we can come. We've been through stuff. And we can become successful. And
we will. We are. I highly believe that. I'm not going to let myself not, like, stop believing that.
Yeah.
Not for me and not for you.
No.
You know, I'm not.
And even if it doesn't turn into, like, loads of success, 10 years from now, if we continue doing all of the things we're doing, we are going to be such good people. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have beautiful hearts and beautiful souls and beautiful lives, even if there's no money in it. Even
and it's going to grow regardless.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to look different in 10 years, period. Whether we're, you know, rich and famous or, you know, like you said, whether we're kind of doing the same. But this aspect is going to look different as far as how far we've come. You'll look at our first episode ever, you know, from us deciding that we were doing a podcast to 10 years from now, 4 years from now. Can you imagine what it's even just going to look like and be like, you know, and kind of, we're going to figure it out. So there's a lot we still don't really know right now. We're just doing it, you know?
Yeah.
We're just like, let's just lean into this and figure it out. And it's going to keep coming the more that we do it, you know?
It's only been like 3 months. And from our first episode, I look at it, was the quality was not great.
Yeah.
Like, it's improved a ton in just a few months, and we haven't done that much to improve.
Exactly.
Because we don't have
all the things,
the stuff to invest in. Like, we just can't.
Yeah. But, so imagine, like, it's going to get so much better.
It'll get better.
Yeah. And then, like, what was I going to say? I forget. It was right there. Tip of the tongue.
Yeah. That's happened to me twice now today. Why? Am I forgetting what I was saying?
Son of a...
My kids are worried about me all the time. They're like, you have real issues. Because I can't remember things.
Early Alzheimer's.
Yeah. They really were concerned that I had Alzheimer's, like, for real. I got the what's that DNA testing called?
The ancestry?
23andMe.
Mm-hmm.
I did that mostly because it shows, like, if I have the marker for Alzheimer's, which I don't. Mm-hmm. But they were so worried all the time because they're like, they talk about these. They're like, do you remember when this and this? And I'm like, I really don't. Like, it's not even familiar. I have no idea what we're talking about. And there's like, you really, girl? You have some problems? They tell me that all the time. They're like, I'm really concerned about you. I just don't remember.
I love it. I think you gotta pick and choose.
Yeah.
You know, what do I need to hold on to? What can I let go?
It's true. And when we're, like, doing this, especially, I think, like, while one of us is talking, we're thinking about, like, all the millions of things that, like, that made me think of this. Oh, that made me think of this. So then when I go to talk about it, I'm like, oh, I thought of so many things. What was the thing I actually wanted to say?
That was like 20 sentences ago. And now we changed subjects, and now I don't even know because it was that other subject that we was just talking about. Yeah. It's real, y'all. It's real.
It is. But that's okay.
Yes, we're doing it. And I think one of the things that I did want to say is our vibe about our podcast that everyone loves is that we are just friends. Mm-hmm. We're not like two professionals coming together and trying to talk about a subject that don't really know each other, or, you know, two co-workers, or, you know, we're not forced into it. None of those maybe other aspects that might exist in podcasts, or just one. There's a lot of one people podcasts. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I like the fact that our vibe, you know, you just come together, you watch us. They're like, we feel like we're part of your world.
Yeah.
We're in your life. We get to know you. And I like that. And I think
love
that's
that.
already something that's emerging that we didn't necessarily set out and say, oh, we're going to have this vibe per se, but it's emerging because that's who we are and what's good about us. And it's what's setting us apart.
Mm-hmm. A big thing for us, I think it's our 4 line in our human design, is community and like connecting people with each other and like just building a community, really. And I've noticed since doing the podcast that people who have been my friends, but we don't talk a lot, because they're watching the podcast, they like are texting me a lot more and talking about things. And like, I think by them watching it, they feel more connected to me. They feel like we're talking, we're being closer. And so they all of a sudden feel closer to me, which is strange because I'm just talking to you. And so I don't see them watching me. So I don't feel that the same, but I'm happy they're talking to me. I'm like, yay, I love talking to friends. So some of them, like, they're talking to me a lot. Like, some people are texting me every single day now when I hadn't talked to them in years.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and
that's
I love
really
that.
cool.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And that's our dynamic that stands out. So I think we're already starting to stand apart for that, you know, and that's just being 2 gals. 2 gals, you know. I would say 2 broke girls, but I don't like broke. Yeah. We ain't putting that out there, but there's a show called 2 Broke Girls that made me think of it.
Yeah, that show's funny.
We just 2 gals.
We are 2 gals with really good energy who love each other. Yes. I think that comes through.
I do too. So we're going to get ready to wrap it up because my baby has to get home and nurse her pain, and our poor phone's about to die.
Yeah, my pain medication's probably going to wear off very soon, and then I just want to be in bed.
And she got a long drive.
Yes. It is so... I left, like, I forget that at my brother's house, it's, like, twice the drive. I, like, leave thinking it's not going to take that long.
Yeah,
and then I'm
taking you so
this
long.
is a long drive.
I forget, too, because I was trying to time it. I'm like, oh, she should probably be here. I'm like, no. I kept checking my phone. Like, nope, nothing yet.
It was so far. I'm like, I'm on the other side of the valley. And it has me, like, the fastest way to get here, because I'm, like, way over by where Bangerter ends. Instead of coming, like, straight this way, it has me, like, go around. So I actually go south and go around where Bangerter curves and then come on I-15 because I'm so far over there. Wow. And I'm like, geez, this is far.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to let her go. Yeah. And we appreciate you tuning in. This was a laid-back episode, just a peek into who we are, us as real humans, as 2 women trying to make this happen, nurture our friendship, nurture ourselves and our self-growth. And so we appreciate you coming in, being a part of our journey, getting to know us each more personally. You know, stay tuned. We are going to be here. So, like I said, even if it's a little bit less episodes for just a little while, we will be picking it back up at some point. So stay tuned. Send us your good vibes. We're always sending them out to you. Next week, we are going to have another guest. We're not sure if we're going to do it in person. Probably going to be on webcam. So
Niki has a lot to do while she's here. I cannot demand all of her time.
Yes. And we still got to figure that equipment part out. So
I feel like, well, that's a lot. Never mind.
To be announced.
Yeah. We do have a guest, and we're very excited to have her. And she has her own business. She's successful, and she's Niki's other best friend. They've known each other for a very long time. She's the one that we talked about when Niki got divorced and she left and came to Utah. She was like a really important part in her life. So I'm excited to have her.
Yes. So that's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about witches and our take on the word witch. What is a witch? You know, how is it portrayed in Hollywood? How is it portrayed, you know, in relating to women and how society views women? So, and how can that maybe ultimately be taken back into women empowerment? Is it a good word? Is it a bad word? We'll be discussing all of that next week. So tune in for the 3 of us. It's going to be a great time. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here as always.
Yes, thank you.
Peace, love, and joy.
Bye.
Bye.